Before I begin my guide, I'd just like to get a few things out of the way. I'm well aware Susano is an easy god to play. His kit is very simple, and in a 5v5 setting, I would 100% consider it overpowered. But I main Susano in duel, which is one-on-one, and I've been number 1 for most kills and wins with Susano in duel for a very long time. And I play against Grandmaster players on a daily basis, so I can tell you based on all my experience that Susano is not completely broken in duel. He is top tier, no shit, but top tier gods lose to each other all the time, like Chronos, Freya, Anhur, they all destroy each other. But sometimes, even in certain matchups, top tier gods lose to lower tiers. I only wanted to get this out of the way, as I don't want to seem like some sort of scumbag for making a guide on such an easy god, but when you play on a higher level, it's a lot more complicated than just running into Clash and just farming some pentas and stuff. I tend to go quite in-depth in my guides, and I don't really want you guys to think that you won't learn anything just because this is an easier god to play. I want to help those people who play Susano just for the sheer enjoyment of his kit, and enjoy playing them just like I do, and generally help people learn a thing or two from, my experience on a competitive level. So, if you'd like to see some examples of how I play this god, check out my newest montage, Lightning Reflexes, or just go through my Grandmaster series. But with all that nonsense out of the way, let's get started, guys. First, we'll be going over Susano's abilities. Susano's passive is he gains 4% additional movement speed for each ability on cooldown. Susano's first ability has 3 parts to it. The first 2 attacks do AoE damage and have a range of 50 meters. The first attack is a cone, and the second is a circle. The third attack is a dash that doesn't do damage and has a range of about 55 meters. The second ability is a 55 meter AoE cone that pulls everything in the middle. Susano's third ability is very complex, so I'm going to go over a lot more in depth in combos, but for now, these are the basic. It has a range of about 70 meters with a 1 second travel time. You cannot teleport to this ability until it has hit something or reached its max range. Teleporting this ability resets the total cooldown to 8 seconds if the timer is above 8 seconds. It sticks to enemies and applies dot damage every 0.75 seconds for 3 seconds, totaling to 4 ticks of damage. And finally, we have Susano's ultimate. It's an AoE knockup that doubles its area over the course of a few seconds. And during those seconds, enemies that are caught inside, similarly to Hades' ult, get pulled in. You can activate this ability at any point and it does the exact same amount of damage. Next up, we'll be going over his builds. Now, I prefer to do the building portion live, as it's a lot easier to do rather than just explain every single item in the guide, when I could just do it on one take and explain why. So I usually start off when I do duels with tier 2 trends. You want to rush trends as early as possible because the amount of power you get in duel, it's like necessary if you're going to beat like ADCs and stuff like that, because you need the burst to get in and get out. You need that high damage, right? And then I immediately go into Warrior Tabby, obviously. Now this next item can depend. I usually love to rush Jotuns, because it's high damage and stuff like that. It's a really secure item. But the thing is, at this point in a duel, they could do one of 2 things. They could go defense, or they could go pen, they could go lifesteal. Oh yeah, the only reason I'm doing this on this is because the freaking, look at this, game's updating. It sucks. Freaking Terra. Anyway, so at this point, this is where it really depends on your preference. There's 2 items you could get here. I like to get either a Titans or a cooldown plate. Reason being is because, if they don't go defense, you could go like a beach stick or something for like the base pen, because if they don't have defense, you could go ballsy and just hit straight through their protections. You have no need for a Titan's Bane at that point, but I like to go breastplate after that because it's more secure, right? Because chances are they're going to go defense after that anyway, and you'd have to either mirror that defense next or go into a Titans, so kind of pointless. So at this point, they're most likely going to get defense, and at this late into the game when you have 9,000 gold, their base protections are already probably quite high, so you're going to go with the Titans. This last item, though, is really, it's quite like opinion based. There's a few items you could go here. Personally, I like going with Brawlers, 20 pure pen. It's great against people who have lifesteal and stuff like that, but the matchup can change this last item drastically. Like, say you have a really high movement speed character that you need to catch up to, be running away from, like say a Loki, who's moves really quickly in stealth, gets away really easily. You could go, for example, stone cutting. Since you're auto attack canceling and stuff like that anyway. What? It doesn't say the price? That's weird. Oh, that's just the passive thing or whatever. But yeah, the build can change depending on it, but it's really good to have max CDR. Sometimes this can change though. Like, I never ever really get a bulwark usually on Susano, because I think the cooldown is just, it's so necessary, right? When you get a Genjis, you could just get blue buff, and that's max CDR itself. So yeah, that's pretty much all the items I generally use when I play Susano. Although in Conquest, things change a little bit. You never get trans in Conquest. It is a completely stupid item to get. Completely pointless. My Conquest build, it's a little different because I don't play Conquest all that much. But you never ever want to go a cooldown plate. Late game, especially in Conquest, because it's like what, 65? 75 protections, right? Compared to 60 in both with 15%, which is 5% less. It's like nothing. Not even a huge difference, and you're practically full CDR. I'd start out with like rushing a Boots into a Jotuns, same thing. Sometimes people can like, you know, go a Mantle, but I'd rather go straight into a Titans or something, because most likely people are going to be building into defense. But if you want to like, you know, kill squishies and stuff like that, be my guess, go like a Brawler Speed Stick. It can really depend on the game, right? Lifesteal characters, a lot of healing characters, stuff like that. It can just change the build drastically, but the main thing about Susano you want to do is just build a lot of pen, usually a lot of movement speed. A lot of people also like to go with this item. Personally, not a fan of it because I don't like building as a bruiser. But yeah, those are pretty much all the items that you're going to be using as Susano. Crit, auto attack speed just never seems to work. But yeah, remember this is opinion based, this is how I play Susano, so if you guys have any opinions on what you think you could build, just let me know. Anyways, that's the building portion, guys. Next up are Susano's combos. I'll start off by going over his basic auto attack cancels and auto attack resets. For those of you who don't know, auto attack canceling is when you use an ability at the very end of your auto attack animation. I'll be making a separate guide for that soon if you're interested. Susano's auto attack cancels and reset are very fast and very complicated, so pay attention. Susano can auto attack cancel in between each part of his one, but the only problem when performing this is that because of how instantaneous it is when done correctly, you have to wait a split second before your auto attack chain resets. Your auto attack chain is simply the chain of auto attacks and the time and damage it takes in between each auto. It says in the information screen of your God's auto attack. What this means is you have to wait a split second before you can auto attack between the last two parts of the ability. The third auto attack cancel is actually quite annoying, because if you play Susano, you know exactly why. Unlike normal abilities, for some reason his dash has to be right click twice if you want to try and cancel it immediately. But after half a second, you only have to right click it once, which is honestly quite stupid, and I think Hi-Rez employees just aren't good at auto attack canceling and didn't notice it in the programming. For beginning Susano players, this can be quite frustrating, but as time goes on, you'll realize that once you can auto attack cancel on the first two parts quickly enough, the auto attack cancel before the dash still has to wait for your auto attack chain to catch up, just like the second part of the ability. This basically means you don't have to right click twice because you have to wait that split second before you can auto again, which by that time you'll only have to right click once. This is the auto attack cancel into the 2. Now let's go over the difficult one, Susano's 3. Susano's 3 is an auto attack reset. What this means is basically each god has their own proper auto attack chain, with time intervals in between each auto attack. This teleport, like other abilities like a Hunbat's teleport and a Nemesis shield, completely reset that auto attack chain. As you can see, if you teleport instantly after an auto attack, like using auto attack cancel, it completely resets the auto attack chain, letting you auto instantly after that teleport. Now the proper auto attack cancel into this would simply be an auto attack cancel before you cast the 3, then auto attack resetting with the teleport. It's pretty crazy damage when you get 3 autos that quickly late game with a full trans. Now let's go over Susano's combos. Now I'm going to be showing you combos based off of very simple engagements. Remember, things can always change your combos. Jumps, crowd control, actives, etc. should always be kept in mind before performing a combo. Another tip before we begin is remember to try and use your 3 at the most clutch point. The lower they are, the scarier it becomes for them, because if they have their jump and you're doing all that damage to them, it creates the pressure of not wanting to jump because you could just teleport to them. One last tip, always keep in mind that during these combos, when enemies attempt to escape, the movement speed passive actually gives enough movement speed to make it so you can continue to auto attack cancel as they run. First up is the close range standard combo. I'm going to be going over this in slow motion as it's much easier to follow along because this is very quick. You're going to auto attack cancel into your 3. After that, you're going to throw it in auto and then immediately teleport after and auto attack cancel into your first ability. Then you're going to auto attack cancel into your 1 once again. And at this point they're going to be running, so you're going to want to auto attack cancel and then pull them in with your 2. If they did try and run in another direction, your 1 is still up, so you still have the ability for the next like second and a half to dash just like that. This is what it looks like in normal speed. Remember, using abilities activates your passive, so you're actually able to auto attack cancel as you use your abilities, even if they are running. When the jump is up and they're relatively healthy, remember you shouldn't auto attack cancel in between the 1 as it takes too long. Just use 1A and B quickly before they have time to jump away, and then you can teleport with your dash and your pull-up. Also be careful when trying to auto-attack cancel with your 1, as it can take some extra time to do it. It's sometimes just smart to auto-attack cancel the first one and not auto-attack cancel the second one, as it allows you to disengage quicker and not take as much free damage. That being said, if you're in melee range, always try to initiate with the auto-attack cancels into the 1. This is a lot of hard damage, and throwing your 3 onto them afterwards makes it so they have that pressure of not being able to jump, as you could just teleport to them. That being said, remember to always try and teleport to your opponent at that last tick of damage so you can create that pressure for as long as possible, and pump out as much free damage as you can. So this is more of the early game, higher DPS sort of combo. So you initiate with an auto attack cancel into your 1, auto attack cancel into your 1 once again, and after this point you're going to auto attack cancel into your 3 to start creating that pressure, auto attack cancel into your 2, pull them towards you. At this point, if they try and run, auto attack cancel into a dash. If not, auto attack cancel into the auto attack reset on your 3. Calling with your ultimate can change based on your distance. I'll be explaining the close range, but I'll just demonstrate the long range as it's quite similar. First off, you're going to want to ult. Once they're knocked up in the air, pull them with your 2, and it will still pull them once they're in the air. It'll bring them close enough to auto attack cancel into your 3. Once you've done that, auto attack cancel into your 1. Do that once more with your 1B. And then you're going to want to auto attack reset with your 3. Remember that your dash is still up in this engagement. Now, there are quite a few different forms of each combo I've shown you, but you're going to have to learn with experience when to use what in each combo. The ones I showed you all kept with keeping close to the opponent, pumping out as much DPS as possible, and being as efficient as you could, based on the circumstance. Now, tons of things can change when and what abilities you'll use in engagements, so remember practice is the only way to really get a feel for when to use what. And finally, we've got tips and tricks. The first trick is the 3-2 trick. For those who don't know, your teleport follows the momentum of the enemy it's stuck to, which is why it's bad to teleport to gods that are in the air from Susano's knockup. But if you teleport at a very specific time during the pull, it flows with the momentum of the enemy but in the opposite direction, which can be used in a number of ways. A good use for this is for a god like Kali. If you pull her, she will immediately try and stun you, as she'll be assuming she'll be close to you. Instead of that, you'll be thrown in the opposite direction and she'll waste her stun. When attacking towers, throwing your 3 to get closer is a lot faster than walking, but remember that it's still an auto attack reset. If you get your dash ready and then throw your 3, you can dash to the tower and efficiently pull off an auto attack reset without wasting the time to walk up to it. Remember your 3 is a teleport, which means it's instantaneous, which also means if you have quick reflexes, that shit can be deadly. Here's an example of the quickest and most efficient way to clear camps early game, but remember once you get late game, your damage scale is high enough to where using your 3 and your 1 are all you really need. That's it for the guide. If you enjoyed or learned anything from it, a like is really appreciated. If you have any questions or need some clarifications, just hit me up in the comment section. Anyways, if you want to see me do a guide on another god in my god pool, let me know. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Go. Taylor, please, stop it.